You've tuned in to the Aaryan's Musings podcast, episode 2, Mastery. Hey fellow musers, welcome back. It's me, your host, Aaryan. Now if I'm being honest here, I have to admit, this is a pretty lofty goal that I have taken up in my second act itself. Mastery is complicated. Consider this. I'm trying to define and loosely construct that which people achieve after decades of relentless intensity in the pursuit of their passions. Say, I know the taste of 5 different kinds of coffee beans. Ask me, and I might point out a favorite, a not so favorite, and maybe even one that I don't enjoy. Fast forward to when I have tasted coffees made from 1500 different kinds of beans. I probably won't have a best one and a worst one lined up. But what I'll now possess outweighs what I had by far. I might explain to you which flavor works in which setting, what you'd enjoy more based on your taste profile, your taste buds, your sweet tooth, and so on. As I hold more stuff within my senses will be more intricate, more precise. So precise that change the placement of a word in your question, and I may go from tropical varieties to equatorial ones. Transfer all that know-how into a USB and onto your desktop. The picture will be so complex. There are myriad ways in which knowledge forms linkages in our brain, but that's again a matter of perspective. Because, from my point of view, it isn't complex. If you know how to enter a maze, for a moment you may think it's manageable. But if you don't know your way out, it becomes confusing. When you go through the process of creating the maze yourself, you know the exits, the ins and outs, the twists and turns. So maybe mastery isn't complicated. Falling back on what I said to say what I'm about to. Refinement comes from repetition, and repeated refinements create mastery. We take it for granted, but why is it that technology gets smaller as it gets quicker? Rather more efficient. It takes me back to an image where in 1956, you needed 4 or 5 men to handle a 5 megabyte hard drive. Today, I can hold 1.5 terabytes of data in a chip smaller than the breadth of my fingertips. As technology advances, processors get smaller and more precise, to the point where we won't have tools that etch on silicon in the nanometers that we need. That's baffling stuff. But it's the same with us. As we ride on the waves of refinement on our journey to the shores of mastery, we listen less, extract more. We write less, pack more. We speak little, mean more. The first factor decreases while the other one keeps ballooning. To the point where it's no more about what I'm writing. It's about the strokes of ink made from my pen. It's no more about what I speak. It's about the intonations of my voice, the crests and troughs. It's no more about what I listen to. It's more about the billion different translations of the same words in my head. We are born with certain feelings. They pop up on their own, on the trigger of very specific stimuli. All our info on one hand and that feeling on the other. That instinct. Mastery is nothing but an instinctive grasp on a subject or a field or a body that works on your command and not on your stimuli. So much so that it can't be even called an instinct anymore. For all that complexity and winding information, now there's a switch on the wall of your mind. You flick it on and off on your command. The effects are instantaneous. Boundaries between objects and subjects fade when you progress further. As I mentioned before, change a word in your question and I might go from a tropical variety to an equatorial one. I went from coffee to topography in one click. The horizon expands to assimilate things that were seemingly unrelated before. Many Indian philosophies say that everything in this universe, at its core, is the same. It's Maya that creates the illusion of separation, of differentiation, of boundaries. Mastery burns the covering of Maya and reveals the reality of existence. It is all but the same. Till this point, I used to think how this theory worked, and now I just explained how it might to myself. Isn't that amazing? So essentially, Maya wasn't meant to be an obstacle, rather a door that could be locked and unlocked with a key called the intellect. The grooves of this key are mastery. You create those grooves on your key painstakingly or otherwise, through repetition, through refinement, over and over again. Each groove shrinks in size and gets intimidatingly finer until they're atoms apart. At one point, there are no grooves left to be made. And if that ever happens, and you set the key into the keyhole and turn it, the door disappears. The boundaries melt, and the colors become one. Was it even resembling a key anymore? Or it had become something that was never seen nor made? Considering you are as godly by now as God is, it's not a tall order, but an unthinkably humongous one. Unattainable, apparently, in this small human life. But it exists. If the path is laid out, why not tread on it? Till this morning, I was worried sick that I took a podcast topic that I don't have the ability to propound on. I tried to push myself into it. It didn't work. What worked then? I simply took the road less taken, the road ignored, left to the mercies of nature, the road that is defined overarchingly by one singular characteristic: uncertainty. And that made all the difference. Creation happens in the places where you're uncertain, not always in paths that you can draw by memory. But uncertainty will certainly be the musing of our next session. I hope you had a great time today. I'll be honest, it was great for me. I rediscovered mastery, and I hope you did too. Until next time, then, take care, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.